Hi, hello. I'm Clementine and this is Ed Books with Clementine. Today I was hoping to have my magical readathon vlog edited and uploaded, but I am only halfway through editing this, so I had to move my schedule a little bit up. Today we're gonna do instead a book haul. So this book haul is for the months from January 2026 all the way to April 2026. So this is all the books that I bought this year so far. And I think a book haul every 4 months or so seems like a good pace for me and my book buying. All of the books but one on this list I have already read, which I think is really good and that I want to continue doing forward. While I'm not on a book buying ban anymore because I think my TBR is manageable, I also do want to still try and reduce it or at least keep it where it is. So I want to keep this book buying at about this rate or a little bit lower depending on the month and the releases. So let's get into the books. I have bought a lot of manga and a lot of light novels, so I will start and do with sections. So the first one is books I have bought. I have bought Queen Demon by Martha Wells. I have read it last year within a few months of its release, and I have really enjoyed it. I've read the first book and I own the first book. It's in storage. And then when I saw in the bookstore this US edition that matched my copy of the first book, Witch King, I had to pick it up. Second, we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. While I went on this same bookstore trip to Paris, I saw this one and I needed to buy a backlist book for my TBR in April, so that's what I did. And I actually read it in this 48 Readathon vlog, which is already up, so I linked the vlog in the description down below. So these two are the only traditional novels I bought. But I also bought some light novels. I bought the Overworld books Depend on the Bean Counter, Volume 3. This is a light novel series that has only 3 volumes, so this is the last volume, and I just bought it and read it as soon as I got it in January. There's also a manga adaptation to this, which you will see in a minute when I go to the manga section. And I have started with the manga, but I wanted to read the light novel adaptation. I think I do prefer the manga. I got Heaven Official's Blessing, Volume 8. This is the last volume for this series, and this is the deluxe edition. I had read and finished this series last year, but I was waiting on the release of this new deluxe edition. They are gorgeous, and I love this damnei, so I had to pick up a copy. I have to show you under the dust jacket, because they are always very pretty also under the dust jacket. They always have a quote, and they also have end papers. Yeah, I think those two are the same. And inside, we also have some black and white illustrations, which are also in the normal edition, I believe. Since I loved so much Heaven Official's Blessing, I also had to pick up another series by the same author, which is Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I have now volumes 1, 2, and 3 in the deluxe editions. There are 5 volumes for this series. I think both of the 2 volumes are out, but I'm trying also to curb the spending of all of them at once. So I will for sure pick the remaining volumes in the next couple months. Let me show you also under the dust jacket. So this is volume 1, and you have the end papers. For volume 2, I think this color scheme is the one I like the least, but it's still very, very pretty. And the end papers. And volume 3. I love this one so much. I think it is gorgeous. There. And in this edition, the end paper for the front and back are different. So you have here and this here. And while on the same bookstore trip in Paris, while I got Queen Demon and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I also got another light novel, Damnei, which is Joyful Reunion. I'm not saying all the authors because I know I'm butchering them, so you see them here. I'm not too sure what this one is about at all, This is the only actually physical book I haven't read yet. The back says, "In his veins flows the destiny of an empire. For as long as he can remember, Duanling has been an unwanted child. Raised by his deceased mother's neglectful family, he's grown up battered and mistreated. But his life takes a fateful turn when a stranger named Long Jungxia arrives at the Duan estate, claiming to be sent by the father Duanling never knew he had. Whisked away to the capital of the Liao Empire, Duanling is thrust into a treacherous world of political intrigue and power struggles far beyond his comprehension. But Lang Zhuxia has promised his father will come for him, and Lang Zhuxia never lies. As he prepares for a destiny greater than he ever imagined, Duanling finds himself at the heart of a story that could alter the fate of empires and shake the world itself." Yeah, so I am a little bit wary with the cover of the age gap romance that could develop, but we will see. I am cautiously optimistic. I think this one is more historical, damnei. I don't know if there are any magical elements to it, but I know this author has written a lot of books that have been translated in English, and there is another one that is very interesting to me. I think it's Legend of Exorcism. I will have to look it up, but I saw this one in the stores, and one of my friends, Emma, has picked it up recently, so we're thinking of buddy reading this very soon. So hopefully we do this sooner than later. And now I probably have a camera angle change because I filmed this whole other section for the manga. And then I realized that one, my mic wasn't working anymore because it needed charging. And two, somehow my phone went into a 3x zoom mode. So you saw only half of my face. So we're refilming this. These are the manga that I got. So let's start with the Apothecary Diaries. I got and read volumes 11 through 16 between January and April. I have been slowly making my way through it to catch up with the releases, and now I am caught up. This is the French edition. If you're wondering why I have already read volume 16, that's because the French editions are a little bit ahead. So I am really loving this series. It goes in directions I was not expecting at the start, and it is far much more than just a mystery series with some romance. There's a lot of politics in this, and I'm really loving it. I know there is a light novel, but I'm content for now to read the manga and just wait for the releases. I've realized recently while I was reading the Other Worlds book depend on the bean counter that it is really hard for me to flip-flop between different adaptation formats of a work, and I prefer to consume everything in the same way. And then if I want to, I can reread this in a different format later on. Since I was talking about it, we also have, that's upside down, we also have the Other Worlds books Depend on the Bean Counter, Volume 6. I'm really liking this one in the manga format, and I love the illustration style of it. This is an isekai BL that has a little bit of a crazy premise and has actually a very sweet romance behind it. There's also some politics in this that is quite interesting, and I'm eagerly waiting for the next volume in the series. I think with volume 6, we are past the halfway point in the overall story from what I read of light novels, so I'm happy to continue and to wait for the next volumes. I also got, and I need to refer to the cover because the titles are way too long. Hi, I'm a witch and my crush wants me to make a love potion, Volume 5. This one is going a little bit downhill for me. I think it had a very fun, stupid premise, and I had a really fun time. It's not a mature one. It's a very sweet romance. It has very weird situations that are pretty funny. But with this 5th volume, I was wondering to myself, where are we going with this? Why do we need this volume exactly? I think I'm willing to read another volume and see where it goes, but if this 6th volume doesn't interest me, I might have to DNF that series. Speaking of DNFing series, I bought My Younger Night Takes Care of Me in Another World, which is another isekai BL mature manga. I am not loving any part of the story. I really had a problem. I thought some parts were missing and I couldn't understand where it was going with the illustrations. I think it's a little bit chopped up. And also, I'm not buying the romance. I don't think it's a romance for me, and I don't like what it's doing with it. So I will probably have to pass. I will still look up reviews for volume 3 and see how it's received, but I think for me, unless you have glowing reviews, it's gonna be a pass. And I'm sad about it. I love an isekai. And speaking of, this one is also an isekai. It is not a mature story. It's more of a funny take. It is I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, volume 3. I've seen the anime adaptation of this, so this volume is still following part of what is in the anime. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it does have a light novel format too for this one. And as I said, I started with the manga, so I'm gonna continue with the manga, and I love the illustration style. I think it's really good. So I want to continue with that, so I'll wait for the releases and read them as they're released. And last but not least, we have Spy X Family Volume 15. I have loved the series. I really love the characters. While we do get a lot of backstory about all the side characters, and while we get a little snippets of things happening, it is still going very slowly compared to the beginning. But I love the characters, so I'm not about to DNF this series. I could also read probably volume 16 in French because they are ahead with publication date compared to the English editions, but I have started with the English translation, so I would feel weird, and I think I would also find that maybe the tone is not exactly the same while switching to the French edition, so I'm trying not to do that. And let's see if I can pick it up without it falling this time. One thing about me, I'm very clumsy. While filming this for the first time, I dropped the books 3 times, so let's pick them up in chunks to be safe. So these are all the physical books I bought between January and April 2026. But what about the digital editions I bought? I am referring to my reading journal for this. So I bought all the audiobooks for the Dungeon Crawl Carl series that I could, from book 2 to book 7 that were out. And in April, with another Audible sale, I got Along the Razor's Edge, which is a book that I had physically, but that was a very good sale. However, I didn't like, because there were a lot of small changes made to the book so that if you were reading immersively, it was really hard to do. And I think I'm gonna read them physically as I go along. And the pile of books fell down. That's okay. They're on the sofa. They'll be okay. And the last 2 audiobooks I got during that sale were The Will of the Many by James Islington and The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. And for both of these books, I am planning to read them immersively. The Sword of Kaigen, I can easily get an ebook copy of it. For The Will of the Many, I've been waiting for 8 weeks now for a library copy of the ebook, so we'll see when I can really read it. But I'm planning a buddy read with my friend Dominica, so we'll see when that one comes in. But there you have it. These are all the books that I bought in 2026, either physically or digitally. Let me know, have you read any of these? Have you liked it? If you just want to tell me that you are here and don't have anything to say, just leave a pile of books emoji so that I know that you were here. And with this, I'll stop rambling, I'll get back to reading, and I'll see you in the next one.